Just waiting to go live. If you can see me, just give me a thumbs up so that I know I am online. All right, so here we go. So good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see you again. So welcome to our session on Life Simplified. And today we will be talking about understanding forgiveness on relationships, but another very special relationship, which is the relationship between parents and daughters. So today we will discuss about how we can go a little deeper in our understanding, in our forgiveness, and also in connection to what do we really need to bless when it comes to this relationship between parents and daughters, right? So you can take this session from both ways. So some of you who might be watching might be parents to daughters, or some of you might just be daughters, and we will talk from both the sides. How can we practice forgiveness and understand this relationship from both the angles. Now, when I talk about this relationship, बहुत सारे grudges होते हैं, या समझ लीजिए कुछ misunderstandings होती हैं, या दिमाग में हमारे कुछ negative thoughts होते हैं, which we can become more aware about. Now let us first talk about from the shoes of being a daughter. So say for example, if you're a daughter, and subconsciously, as a child, अगर आप ये सब विचार बनाए हैं, sometimes daughters they tend to compare themselves with their brothers, कि उनको लगता है कि अरे मेरे भाई को तो ये सब करने मिला लेकिन मुझे नहीं मिला, मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मेरे साथ ऐसे किया, मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मेरे साथ वैसे किया. So a good way to reflect that what kind of thoughts did you hold in your mind as a daughter, especially as a daughter, being especially in the Indian society where the dominated sex is of the male community. Many times females as children, they kind of feel irritable or frustrated. So like I have seen a lot of girls, they used to feel frustrated sometimes that their parents are not allowing their daughters to play certain sports which they like for example maybe football, or maybe certain sports which are not very well taken by the society. So you kind of tell your daughters कि नहीं आप ये तुम ये नहीं खेल सकते, and then you might have created anger, irritation as a child in your mind. I have a friend, and when I was talking to her one day, she was holding a big grudge against her father, especially because her father got her married at a very early age. And not just this one friend, I've come across so many women who are very upset with their parents simply because they wanted to study more, or they didn't want to get married early, or they wanted to get married to a particular person and their parents thought कि ऐसा नहीं है, and then they hear comments like oh you're a girl and now your age is ready, and subconsciously बहुत सारे ऐसे विचार होते. It's not that we don't love our parents, we do love our parents, but ये सब जो विचार है, we need to sometime do forgiveness. कभी कभी ये सब चीज़ का forgiveness करके हमको अपने consciousness से इसे निकाल देना चाहिए, and especially when time has just passed by. So if there have been phases in your life where you have criticized your parents for the way they have brought you up, every parent has a different way to bring you up. So कुछ पेरेंट्स थोड़े से ज़्यादा कंजर्वेटिव होते हैं, कुछ पेरेंट्स थोड़े मॉडर्न होते हैं, एंड जैसे जैसे हम लोग बड़े होते हैं sometimes we tend to compare our parents to others' parents, or maybe your friends' parents, and then we say my parents, my dad was so strict, or my mom was so strict. So ये सब जो विचार है, when we do forgiveness today, we will try to let go of these thoughts and these feelings. So this is on the side where as a kid, now जैसे जैसे हम लोग बड़े होने लगते हैं, you need to check what thoughts, just reflect on what kind of thoughts did you create when it comes to education. Did you, if you were not allowed to take a particular stream simply because you are a daughter, and then you have anger within you, ये anger जो हम लोग अंदर में hold करके रखते हैं, especially towards parents, it is not very healthy for us. In fact, Master Chokokshu says that what thoughts we hold for our parents are very, very important. And we also need to realize one thing, that our parents are also not perfect. So as daughters, we also need to realize that parents have done whatever best they could do in their own way of thinking. But they are also not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even parents are not perfect. So if you have had any grudges like that, oh, my parents did not allow me to wear this or wear that. Many daughters, they have this grudge. Oh, my parents, they don't allow me to wear this kind of clothes or that kind of clothes. They don't allow me to go here or go there. So there are often complaints related to the lifestyle, certain restrictions अपने lifestyle को लेकर के. और अगर उस तरह के ग्रजेस है तो आज के फॉरगिवनेस में हम लोग उसको भी लेट गो करेंगे. So just think about certain main facets. One related to the clothes that you wanted to wear, or these are small little things जो बचपन में, teenage में या college days में you kind of get upset with. But let us release these energies. You might have be holding grudge against your parents for not letting you get married probably to the person that you wanted, or maybe marriage related, कि आपकी शादी बहुत जल्दी करा दी गई या उस तरीके से नहीं कराई जैसे आपने सोची थी, या उस लड़के से नहीं कराई जिससे आपका मन था शादी करने का. And if you have any grudge like that, we need to let go of it, and we need to forgive our parents, realizing that whatever they have done is the best that they can do as per their development, and also realizing that they are also not perfect. In fact, nobody is perfect. Even we are not perfect. अक्सर आपने सुना होगा, even my parents, they tell me, आपने भी सुना होगा अपने पेरेंट्स से, when they kind of realize कि ओके ऐसा नहीं है, या they are speechless when you ask certain questions और उनको नहीं पता होता है, कि उनको खुद को भी समझ में नहीं आता है, उनको लगता है कि हाँ बच्चा तो सही बोल रहा है. And then they say कि no, when you become a parent you will understand. So let us not wait to become a parent and then learn the hard lesson and then understand. Let us realize and accept our parents the way they are. So true forgiveness is not about कौन सही है कौन गलत है. आपके फ्रेंड्स आपको बोलते होंगे एज डॉटर्स कि नहीं तुम सही हो, तुम जो बोल रहे हो ठीक हो, तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स ज़्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट है, तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स ये गलत बोल रहे हैं, उनको ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए. यू माइट हैव योर peers, you might have your parents, you might your friends, your people around sometimes telling you कि नहीं तुम्हारे साथ गलत हो रहा है. But end of the day, let us realize that whatever we get or we receive from our parents, we can never repay. हम लोग कभी भी उसे repay नहीं कर सकते हैं. This is one truth. Another truth is we also have some karmic connections with those souls who have given us birth. तो उसको भी तो हम लोग चेंज नहीं कर सकते. It is the best possible set of parents that we could get based on our own karmas. We all have karmic connections. So जो हमारे कर्मा में fit होते थे, the best possible parents, and that is how this relationship got together. So we can't blame universe, or we can't blame God, or we can't blame anyone कि मुझे ऐसे parents क्यों मिले. I've also surprisingly I've had some people sometimes, especially girls, because we're talking about daughters, they're very conscious about the way they look, or they're very sometimes conscious about their features or their height or their skin color or their hair and beauty related stuff. And if they don't like something about themselves, they very conveniently blame it on the parents कि mom का ऐसा है, that is why I am like that. My mom has a tendency of having dark circles, that is why I have dark circles. So I've seen a lot of daughters pass comments like this. So let us be a little careful about realizing that end of the day we are all souls, and we cannot blame our parents, and we cannot hold grudges of what kind of upbringing they have given us. Many people, they have grudges related to their childhood. They have grudges related to the way they have been brought up. Very easily they say, okay, my mom didn't give me enough love, that is why I'm an angry person today. Very conveniently, I've seen daughters say that. My father loved my brother more and did not give me enough love, and that is why I have this particular disease in my body today. I've seen when we have interactions with certain students, they often say such things. So it's time that we realize that we are also souls. Similarly, our parents are also souls, and it's okay. They are also allowed to make mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes. But the good part about parents is that even if they have made mistakes, those mistakes are honest mistakes, and those mistakes are kind of sincere mistakes. उन्होंने जान करके ये नहीं किया है. They being parents have given us the best possible as per their capacity and as per their understanding. So I'm just discussing about few grudges which in general we hold, and it could be a good way to reflect कि क्या मैंने इस तरह के grudges अपने अंदर में रखे हैं. And then अगर हम लोग को ये realize होता है कि हाँ रखे हैं, then today is the time to release it. So we will release that. So this is one side of the story. Now let's talk about the other side. Now what if you, हम लोग ने अभी discuss किया if you are a daughter and then you have your attitude towards parents. Now let's talk the reverse. Parents, when you are in the shoes of the parents and your attitude towards your daughters. Okay, so एक तो बहुत चीज़ होती है daughters के साथ कि बहुत बड़ा expectation होता है, और जैसे ही whether we like it or not, I often see it even in the modern society, the most modern societies also, people are really concerned as to, you know, they very nicely parents pass comments like, अच्छा तुम किसी और के घर में जाएगी तो will you behave like this, how will you behave like this. So they are already mentally preparing their daughters that when they go and live in the house of someone else after marriage, then what will happen. So let us realize that such comments can be not very healthy. Such upbringing, such things, when you just kind of, it also reflects कि अंदर में कितनी insecurity है. Sometimes we are as parents just insecure. So now let us understand that as parents, are we at least making a conscious effort to not be sexually biased. This is a little sensitive topic, but can we not be very sexually biased as parents? I'm also talking about it. I have daughters, I have 2 daughters and a son, but there are times where I have also caught myself being little different towards my daughters versus my son. And then when I reflect, I realize, yeah, क्योंकि ये जो thoughts है हमारी society में, हमारे community में, तो बहुत बार हम लोग गलत decisions ले लेते हैं just because this soul is a daughter and this soul is a son. Some basic decisions. So can we become more aware about it, become aware about like for example, if your daughter is going to a friend's place, so I've often seen that people are, okay, which friend are you going to, whose place are you going to, so you try to find out, okay, किसके घर जा रही है, लड़के के घर जा रही है कि लड़की के घर जा रही है. But when a guy goes, are your questions equally inquisitive as they are for your daughter? If they are not, then there is something that we need to change within ourselves. So we could also reflect कि ये इस तरह की चीज़ें जितनी हम लोग कम कर सकें, जितनी हम लोग कोशिश कर सकें. Of course, the entire world functions like that, but we can at least start. We can at least start by bringing this into our awareness and by bringing this into our consciousness, that how can we be as equal as possible. And this will also heal the relationship a lot. Like mentally, most of the families, they prepare their daughters in such a way that tomorrow if they go to anybody's house, they should be well prepared. But then isn't that putting a lot of pressure and already a lot of thought process that ऐसा ही होने वाला है. But the same way we may not do it for our sons. So इसी तरह से as parents, what kind of expectations you're holding from your daughter. Like it is even now extremely common when it comes to education. What is the expectation that you hold towards your daughter when it comes to education? What is the expectation that you hold towards your daughter when it comes to marriage, when it comes to education, or the bigger aspects of life? And what is, you could also reflect and see what is your thought process behind coming to this conclusion about expectations from daughters. Are your expectations from daughters versus your son, is it the same? Or is it totally biased? This could be checked upon. So these are just few guidelines जिसके बारे में हम लोग सोच सकते हैं, and this can make the relationship more focused as a soul and not so much identifying with the roles that we play. Okay, so let us now begin with the practice of forgiveness. So हम लोग forgiveness देंगे भी और forgiveness मांगेंगे भी. We will do both ways. So let us first start by thinking as if you are a daughter, and then let us give and ask forgiveness from our parents. Okay, तो पहले हम लोग as daughters अपने parents से forgiveness मांगेंगे, and if you are a male body or you're a son, you can also do it, no harm. Alright, so let's begin. शुरू करते हैं. Just if you like, keep your palms open like that or in the namaste posture. जो भी आपको easy लगता है, आसान लगता है, you can do it in that posture. Let's take a deep breath. Just imagine your parents in front of you. Imagine करिए कि आपके parents, they are like small size in front of you. Just take a deep breath. Now please repeat after me. Atma Namaste. We are all children of God. We all make mistakes. We are all evolving. I forgive you for your mistakes. I let go of all the grudges that I have within me towards you. मेरे अंदर जो भी पेन है, जो भी कंप्लेन्स है, जो भी ग्रजेस है जो मैंने आपके प्रति रखे हैं, I let go of that. I let go of all the inner pain. I let go of all the past negative memories. I let go. I forgive you for any kind of pain and hurt caused. Now let us ask for forgiveness. Please forgive me for my mistakes. Please forgive me for not understanding you. Please forgive me for not accepting you at times the way you are. Please forgive me for judging the way you brought me up. Please forgive me for mentally criticizing or comparing you with other parents. You are forgiven and the matter is forgotten. Thank you for forgiving me and thank you for forgetting the matters. May God's blessings and peace be with you and with me. May God's blessings and peace be with you and with me. Be in peace. Now let's do some blessings. Please put your hands in the blessing posture like this. Imagine your parents in front of you. Thank you, God, for blessing my parents with divine light, divine love, and divine power. Thank you for blessing my parents with love, with peace, with joy and understanding. I express my gratitude. I express my acceptance. I accept you the way you are. I express my gratitude for bringing me up properly, for taking all the efforts for bringing me up. May God's blessings be upon you. So be it. Now put your hands down. Let us do a little bit more prayers to let go of all the grudges as parents towards our daughters. Okay? If you have any guilts, so many times as parents I have seen they hold guilts. उन्होंने अपनी डॉटर को हो सकता है कुछ गलत बोल दिया या बाद में उनको रियलाइज हुआ कि मैंने अपनी डॉटर के साथ ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था. एंड देन व्हेन यू रियलाइज दैट गिल्ट समटाइम्स टेक्स ओवर सो मच कि उससे बाहर निकलने में बहुत समय लग जाता है. So let's also forgive ourselves as parents in terms of how we have treated our daughters and both ways. So let's just do some exercise to let go of the grudges. Now this time, between imagining that you are parents and then you will do it towards your daughters. Imagine your daughters in front of you. Say Atma Namaste. We are all children of God. We all make mistakes. We are all evolving. I forgive you for your mistakes. Please forgive me for my mistakes. I also forgive myself for all the wrongdoings as a parent. Thank you for forgiving me. I let go of all the grudges. I let go of all the guilts within me. Nobody is perfect. You are also not perfect. I am also not perfect. May God's blessings and peace be with you and with me. May God's blessings and peace be with you and with me. I wholeheartedly accept the relationship that we share. I accept you the way you are. Thank you for accepting me the way I am. Thank you, God, for blessing us with love and peace. Put your hands down. So, how do you feel? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel relaxed? So, anytime अंदर में आपके कोई भी grudge है, just you can practice these prayers. Let go, move on, realizing कोई भी perfect नहीं होता, ना हम perfect है, ना कोई और perfect है. Everybody is learning, everybody is evolving, and it is okay to make mistakes sometimes. Thank you very much for joining in. Have a nice day ahead.